delighted to be here. I'm Lucy. I'm a suburban mother of two. I have two small children. But I say that, I lie. I have two young children. They're not small because they take after my husband, Justin. I'm 4'11". My husband, Justin, is 6'5". So to give you a mental image of what that's like, in the bedroom, it's like a ventriloquism act that's gone to a very dark place. Don't dwell on that image or anything, but it does sort of look like he's wearing a novelty pencil sharpener on his... Anyway. But yeah, the kids are massive. Because when I got pregnant, our friends were fascinated. They were like, you know, this is some kind of medical experiment. What happens if you cross a cart horse with a Shetland pony? And the results were in. They wanted to be in the delivery room. They were like, this could be the first time the baby slaps the midwife back, right? It's weird as well, because they don't look like me, not just because they're massive, but also because they've inherited Justin's colouring. They are blonde-haired, blue-eyed. It's like I've been ethnically cleansed from my own family. I did all the hard work. None of my DNA made the cut, it turns out. But we're different in lots of ways, Justin and I. Class-wise, we're quite different. I would say I'm lower middle class. I'm from a place called Croydon. For anyone who doesn't know Croydon, it's a lovely little fishing village just to the south of London. Beautiful spot. So I would say I'm lower middle class. I think I'm lower middle class. Justin is from a little village in Hampshire. So I would say he's upper middle class, right? And, you know, you might say, well, you're both middle class, what's the difference? But lower middle class, upper middle class, there are differences. It's things like both our families had holiday homes, but theirs didn't have wheels, you know. But we've moved now. We've moved to a place called Pinner. We only moved to Pinner because the estate agent said to us, he said, oh, Pinner is a lovely part of West London. Right? West London. We get Welsh telly. It's not London. It's not London, but it is very nice. One of the things I like about where we live is it's very multicultural. I think that's one of the brilliant things about London. I think multiculturalism is something we really have to fight for. Like the school my kids go to, it was very easy to pick a school for my kids because obviously we just picked the one with the highest ceilings. But the school they go to, it's a really nice school and it's very diverse. Like we have a mum's night out once a month and all the mums from the school go and there are women there from every economic background, every race, every religion, and we have a fantastic time, and the Muslim mums drive us home. Tell you what, it is nice. I had an incident the other day, though. I was walking down the street near where I live, and it was one of those sunny days, one of those days that remind some van drivers that women have breasts. You know, one of those. And I was walking down the street, and there was a van drove up and slowed down, and two guys leaned out of the van, and they were in classic kind of leching position. And I knew they weren't going to be looking at me because I am 44 years old. And in fact, my older friends, when I was turning 40, they said, oh, being over 40, it makes you invisible, right? And I have found, yes, that is true, but the brilliant thing is it mostly makes you invisible to dickheads. So it's not really a problem, it's a superpower, if anything. So I'm walking down the street, these two guys are leaning out of this van, and I see they're leching, but they're looking past me at a younger woman, a woman in her 20s, who is walking alongside me. And these guys do the classic thing. They lean out of the van and they gave this woman a very detailed appraisal of her anatomy. You know, they covered all the main areas in bullet-pointed form, very thorough. And then they went on to suggest what I can only describe as a smorgasbord of activities they felt they would enjoy indulging in with her were they not under pressure of time to get to the next plumbing job. So they did all this and they drove off. And naturally, I turned to this woman and I said, oh my gosh, are you okay? That was horrific. And she said, no, I'm fine. It happens all the time. And I thought, yeah, it does when you're in your 20s, doesn't it? And we were chatting about how silly it was as we walked down the street. And then we got further down the road and the traffic had slowed down and this van had come to a stop. And I think a few years ago I would have just left it, said nothing. But this year I thought, do you know what? If I'm going to be invisible, you know who else is invisible? Ninjas. I'm going to be a bloody middle-aged ninja. I'm going to strike, right? So I went up to the van and I just leaned in and I said, oh, hi, guys. Listen, sorry to bother you. I just wanted to say thank you so much for what you did back there because my son here has been undergoing a very difficult gender reassignment. He's been been worried that it's not going that well, but what you did back there really made him feel like a proper woman. Thank you. I was delighted with myself as well. But what was really special was that then the young woman next to me leaned in beside me and in the deepest voice I've ever heard, just went, "Yeah, thanks, guys." It was a beautiful moment. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. The only thing that could have made it perfect would have been if the guys in the van had said, actually, if your child is undergoing a gender reassignment, it's incredibly insensitive of you still to be referring to her using the male pronoun. They didn't do that. They just called us slags. Before I go, I was just going to tell you, Justin, I said he's an actor. He's a giant of the acting world, by which I mean he's 6'5" and he's been in Holby City. He was on EastEnders recently, right? I know. And he got the job on EastEnders, and he came home, and when you get a part in EastEnders, they're very precious about their security, right? So they said to him, we'll send you the script for EastEnders the day before you film, no longer before, just because we don't want it to get leaked. And they said, we will encrypt the file when we email it to you. So come into your email, you won't be able to read it until we give you the password to decode it. And they said, we will phone you with the password, but we won't phone your mobile, because mobiles aren't secure, so we will call your landline with the password, right? So he gets to the day before filming, and he gets the script, and then the phone goes, and he picks it up, and he starts typing, and he's laughing. And I said, well, what is it? Why are you laughing? He said, oh, it's just the password is EastEnders. Your BBC, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for having me. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.